Ooh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm live. I'm live. I'm so live. I'm too live crew. I'm gonna send a message to a friend. At the link. Da 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 da. Da 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 da. I'm changing the chat. It is changed. Nope, those aren't the glasses for today. Those were yesterday's glasses. You're gonna put on the glasses. Oh shit! The person. I see you, person. I see that like you gave me. I like you right back. Hi, Chuck. Thank you for the hearts. Boom, boom. A boom, boom. A boom, 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 bum, 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 bum. That's my bum. Oh, we have two people. Ooh, yeah, I'm liking this. These are the glasses for today. We're gonna still do the casual Art Apron look. We're gonna have a slight continuation. It's still a celebration of Bastille Day. Vive la France! I have more red on to vibe with the flag and everything. And look what I found today. I love where I live. I live in such a cute neighborhood where you can take a walk and find a book or find a little stuffed animal. I've been painting paintings with cerulean blue and light green permanent. That's that color. Oh my God, Andy, other person. Ah! Hi, my friends. Happy Tuesday. Guess what we're doing? Chuck just had an extraordinary live stream with the Oracle of Whimsy for Taco 2, as in the word TWO, Tuesday. But here, it's going to be a proper Taco Tuesday with, you know it, Taco Tongue. Do your best taco tongue. If you can. Apparently, that's a genetic thing. Not everyone can do taco tongue. Andy is blowing up the chat. He's the other person. Life is one big scavenger hunt. It is indeed. Heart, heart, hearts. Heart, heart, hearts. Anastasio. Incidentally, that is the Italian male version of my name. Anastasia, you had a taco pizza with a very nice. And Chuck had an awesome and amazing and awesome show with Whimsy. And look, Kate McCarthy is here with a beautiful flower. I paint flowers, Kate. Abstracted and very strange. Like, is this a flower? I don't know. Are these? What's going on? We don't know. But I love that you're saying hi with your sunflowers and flowers. You are welcome. Oh my God. We have a joke teller, Fatish. If I am pronouncing that wrong, you let me know. If Pinocchio says, my nose will grow now, and his nose doesn't grow, is he telling the truth or is he lying? Is this like a Monty Python thing? Blue, no red. Like, I need to know how to cross the bridge. Oh shit, we just searched to 22 people. Oh no. Hello, Boba and Mango. Those are beautiful, meaning these little babies? Or me? My Zuby, my teeth? Thank you. It's the little kindergartner in me coming out to play. These are business cards, right? I paint over whatever the hell I can find and I have fun with it. It's a joy. So come with me and we'll be in a world of pure imagination. Grab a book and it'll show you reading rainbow. What the fuck am I thinking? I don't know. I'm going to paint over this children's book, though, and make it into my daily to-do list that I just look at and make sure I don't compromise. Did you know that we all have a non-negotiable list? Okay, a non-negotiable list of things we really need to do on the daily. And if we don't, our mental health, our well-being will disintegrate just a little bit. I have some high standards I gotta uphold that seem like minor things, but if I don't do it, all fucking hell breaks loose. And I look like that. Ah! Because I also paint with googly eyes because this is how I often feel inside, people. C'est moi. Et vive la France. We were trying to sing, it was Bastille Day. I am not a French national. nationalist, imperialist, whatever. I love that we were at 22 people and it went down to 4. They're like, screw this lady, deuces. Well, I'm glad you are having fun. I went from Willy Wonka to reading Rainbow. I did. Oh, now we've got Mon Tue Sat. That is beautiful. Is that your birth name? Is that your stage name? Whatever the name that is, I love it. And you're saying, hi, welcome. We're very happy to have you. I am trying to make sure I maintain proper hair etiquette so I do not hit this little booger face, because if I do, the microphone does this. Sounds like bees mixed with raptors' fingernails and kitty claws. How am I doing? Well, there are many ways to answer that. The polite way in society is, I'm fine. Or, I'm doing amazing. And you're lying out of your teeth and you somehow they'll feel better by saying that. You are from Nigeria. Welcome from Nigeria. That is a beautiful name. And I believe Nigerian. My name is very Russian, but it comes from the Greek word Anastasis, which means resurrection. My name is Anastasia or Anastasia. So hello. I wonder what that means. Do you know what your name means? Know a few? It's just gorgeous. I love that. Well, welcome to our happy hour. My phone is a little warm. It just dimmed the lighting. Interesting. Well, hi. Hello, hi. This is our happy hour where someone in the world is happy, even if it's not you or me. You asked me how I am today. The polite way of answering that question is, I'm great, I'm fine. Oh my God, she dies. I'm not. I'm lying, I'm all lies. I had a rough day, but I love people. I love talking to people. When I came home, I had no one to talk to, so I was talking to my cat loudly, and it sounded like I was talking to myself. So my roommate thought I was an insane person, but maybe I am an insane person. But I'm feeling better now that I'm here with you all, and this is a happy hour. You can bring your own beverage. I do have Sandra O. Merlot from Sideways today, but some days it's water. Some days I actually have watermelon juice. Cold pressed watermelon juice in my cooler because it is very warm today, though not what it could be. And let's not talk about the weather and stay in small talk. Let's have a sip of whatever beverage, whether it's the air, take a cleansing breath in through the nose, out through the mouth, or a little sip of wine or a martini or a spritz or our water or our soda or our cold pressed cucumber juice. Oh, Sandra Mur-O. Sydney is back in action with us again. I am so glad you're feeling better. Andy's having a Pepsi. Sydney has joined us. Oh yeah, how's my little boop? Oh wow, that's very loud. So you really got to hear that. Come with me and you'll be Sydney. Can you hear me? In a world of pure imagination. Grab a book. Find a nook. Reading Rainbow. Amazing. Nofiu, your name means beneficence. Extraordinary. It sounds very regal and very religious. My name is both as well. I bring people back from the dead. I am the resurrection, the truth and the life. They actually use my name to describe Christ's resurrection, as in Jesus Christos. Jesus, Jesus, that's right. That's a lot. That's a lot. And beneficence. So are you the beneficent one? Are you magnanimous? Do you find yourself often giving, oversharing? I feel like our names often mirror facets of our personality, even though they were chosen well before we were born, incarnated in this physical form. It's a Muslim name. Extraordinary. I love that. Well, it is also holy and of its own tradition, as is mine from its tradition, which isn't, it's adjacent to the Judeo-Christian grouping of folks, and from Central Asia is where I'm from. And Andy is sharing his last name is German. My last name simply translates to of the family of Paul. It's pretty simple and straightforward. If anyone wants to share meanings of their names, that could be fun. You want to be my good friend. Well, do you live in Nigeria? I live in California, but we can be friends here. And that's sort of the point of what this community is. This live stream, it's a way for folks to get together because I'm in a liminal space in my life in between things, and I'm normally around hundreds to thousands, believe it or not, people every day. I have a very big presence, and I miss being that big presence amid so many people. When I used to sing in gospel choirs, they would sometimes be quite large, like 500 people, and you could hear my voice project out over 500 people. I have a very bigness about me, including my body. But I'm not fat shaming myself. I'm going to put my glasses on. I'm going to be a big intellect with these. Geek chic. I'm going to fluff my hair. We're going to have a good time today. I just love that we always start with an onslaught of people and then it just goes down to this. Boop, it funnels down. V. V for Vava. Did you know that in Russian, Vava means boo-boo? Like if you have a boo-boo, I have a boo-boo. Vava. These are zubi, the teeth, zubi. In French, les dents, les dents. Let me know your words. Fluff away, said Chuck, fluff away. Radu is not your real last name. You have a stage name. Oh, no, it's an adopted name. We would love to know your actual last name. Andy is saying hello, hello, lots of hearts. Andy's saying hello to Chuck in the chat. Water. Andy's real last name is Waterud. Just call you Mud. And no few needs an update that can be earning you money online here, working from home. That's the dream, right? I mean, you know what I'm reading right now, no few. It might not be up your alley because it's a book that has a lot of profanity in it, but it's actually very much on par with what you're asking. I'm almost done with The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Ooh, of Not Giving an F-U-C-K by Mark Manson. And he is someone who, he graduated from college and he was from a family that had money, but he wasn't given really much of that money when he graduated college. He just had to fend for himself like a lot of people do. And he was finishing things up and ended up living on basically couches. He was sleeping on his friend's couch, occasionally his parents' couch, and had like nothing, just kind of really was in a place of, I wouldn't say failure, but didn't have anything. And he felt like, what do I have to lose right now? There's always pain with whatever we do in life, whatever we choose. There's always going to be some pile of doo-doo that's stinking up to high heaven. So the question we have for ourselves is, what's worth that pain? We need to choose something to commit to in life, right? So then what are we going to choose to commit to while enduring pain? Because it's going to be a struggle. It's going to be a challenge. What is worth the pain? So it's always going to be some type of struggle, but it feels good when we choose something that we know we really want to invest in. And Mark, this guy in this book, he was writing about the fact that there's going to be failure. This is how we learn. In fact, we often develop ourselves the most profoundly in times of extreme stress and extreme pressure. And since there's going to be failure and pain involved anyways, and he felt absolutely miserable living on a couch, he's like, I might as well attempt to work from home. This guy wanted to do a DIY life. He did not want to work for someone else. He wanted to work remotely. He wanted to work off the internet, of his computer. And so he didn't even know where to start. He was a writer. So, it's important to have something you're doing. You know what I mean? Whether you write or you want to sell a product or you want to, you do photography or you do content creation or you make rings and you sell rings or you make flower paintings. Oh, so beautiful. Or you buy, I love this patch. I don't know what I'm going to do with it. So, or yeah, you walk in your neighborhood and take photos and make content creation and then find books and paint books and sell them. Or I don't, but yeah, you need a shtick, right? You need something to do. And so for this guy, it was writing. He was doing a blog. Oh, no few. I've the last 5 minutes or so, I'm telling a story, which is in direct response to your question, actually. So I hope you were listening. I do speak in a way it's called circumlocutiously. So I can sometimes speak in circles, but I have a point. I explain the point and then I come back to the point. I was talking about Mark Manson's book, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an FUCK or fuck, because in it he talks about exactly this, because this is exactly what he did. You have to be willing to endure some pain, fail a lot. He was already not in the best place, and that's the space, because it's going to be hard to start something, a business from home, to work remotely and do that kind of a thing. And it's important to know what it is you want to do, because it's going to be hard no matter what it is. So hopefully it's something you really are invested in and excited about to be able to do and put your time and effort and love and passion and heart and soul into. And so the thing, I'm literally reading this book right now and I'm about 70% done. And so he talked about, because, it could be so frustrating. I'm in the exact same space you are, no few. Exact same space, because I'm in between jobs. It would be amazing for me to do this, to create content, to act, to perform, to do comedy, to sell my, well, that's my art, to sell my art, to sell my quirky personality. Hi. How do I do that? Well, it can be overwhelming, especially for folks like me who struggle with neurodivergence. But it's a beautiful thing. It's what makes me quirky, eccentric, unique, right? And when you have, an ADHD brain though too, where you're going boop 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 boop, what like, and it's so overwhelming. Like with acting, like, oh my God, like like, where do I even, like, I know I need proper headshots. I don't have a proper headshot. What about an agent? What about a manager? What about, do I go back to my casting agency? Do I just start like pitching? So do I just start auditioning? Do I just do stage work? You do anything. You do something, and you do something every day. And here's the thing. You don't need to be inspired to do something. You just do something, and the inspiration, the motivation actually derives from you just choosing a task and doing it and seeing what happens. Kind of like, oh my God, I need to build a website. Like I actually do. But in the book, Mark's talking about building a website. Oh my God, right? Oh, what do I do? I have to build this website. And it just seems overwhelming. So he's just like, okay, I'm going to start with the header, just the banner on the first page. And it felt like it was pulling his teeth out, but he just started, and all of a sudden he broke through that, like, that angst, and was able to pivot to something else and pivot to something else. And actually, before he knew it, for 5 hours, he'd been working on his website and made huge progress. But a place to start is knowing what in the world you're doing to make money online. And then, just start every day doing something and knowing that it's going to be painful. It's going to be challenging. It's going to suck. It's going to suck probably just like having a day-to-day job is, an 8 to 5 is. But the thing is, with the online business or whatever business, you're going to be investing in that with your heart and soul, because it's something you actually want versus what someone's telling you you should want. So you're going to be willing to kind of suffer the slings and arrows, so to speak, of your great misfortune while allowing yourself to see where it takes you, and to take risk, maybe to make a bit of a fortune for yourself. But these things take a long time, and sometimes your trajectory can be a little bit sped up, but nothing is linear and nothing goes up like this. It's normally like, I'm making I'm making some progress. And then you go, oh my God. And then you're like, woo. And you're like, oh my God. And then you're like, yeah, it's like, it's never like that. And also it's really never about going from A to B, because if you suddenly hit a B, guess what happens? You don't really have anywhere else to go, and the midlife crisis sets in. Yeah. We need to stay in the progress. It is helpful to have goals along the way, but just if it's just an ultimate goal, once you hit that, you're like, Like, for example, I got over 700 point, like my credit score went over 700. I'm like, yay! Wow! I'm a good adult. And then all of a sudden, like, it was like I hit that. It's like, now what? It went back down to below 600 is what happened. So now I have to work on it back up. Like, you get out of debt and then all of a sudden you're like, I have nothing to work for. Might as well go back into debt, if you will. Anyway, I'm going to go back to the chat. I just did I was just talking about, it kind of riffing off working from home and some tips. Incidentally, I had some because I'm quite literally reading a book on kind of how to better yourself and be a better version of yourself and get through stuff. And when life hands you a hot turd, how do you make that into a turd that walks with arms and legs? Hey! Like my ex. Oh, shit. That's what she said. And that is what she said. All right. So Chuck is saying hi to Andy. I'm going back into the chat. Andy's real full name, drum roll, please, boys and girls, is Travis Lynn Waterwood. Very interesting name. Travis Lynn. But now it's Andy Travis Radhu. Randy Travis. Hell yeah. What a name. Oh my, the F word. Yes, I know. Fluffer nutter. That sounds delicious. Does anyone want to make me a fluffer nutter ice cream for dessert tonight? All right. How can I help? I'm speaking like a boomerang. Gosh dang it. That is gorgeous, Andy. I like that very much. Boomerang versus circumambulare. So Cicero famously spoke in a way that was that my eyes look pretty. Sorry, I'm going to be vain for one moment. I forget I have green eyes. I have my father's eyes. They're kind of more hazel. They were blue when I was born, kind of gray, I was told. Oh, a friend sent me hearts. Love, 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 love. I love you too, boo boo. That sounds fun when you say boo boo, but when someone says it back to you, it sounds absolutely ridiculous. Sounds like I'm a child. But yes, fluffer nutter. No few was asking for tips. I was dishing the tips, and I gave them, and you can go back and re-listen if you want, once this is published. I did my very best. And, the book by Mark Manson, The Subtle Art of Not Giving an F-U-C-K, actually a very good book. But there are plenty of books along those lines that really help. Plenty of YouTube. Honestly, for anyone interested in, like, I want to be an artist full time, or I want to be a content creator, fill in the blank, online, working remotely, working, from your home. There is so much content on YouTube about how to do that. That's specific to your niche of, you need, it helps to have an idea what it is that you're doing. Like Mark Manson is writing, it was kind of like self-help. It was doing it from a perspective of being like a metalhead and using a lot of profanity. He's a great writer though. And he wanted to write a book, and he read a lot of Stoic philosophers, and he had a blog that talked all about that. And he wanted a business from that. So it's important to identify, what that is. And if you don't know what that is, well, may I suggest journaling? May I suggest, well, psychedelic assisted therapies? No, where you, go on a journey, or therapy, or hypnosis, or doing lots of yin yoga, meditative practices, just meditation, where you incubate as you go into the meditation and intention of, I would love to know what it is that I want to build a business from, and what are my skills that can help me do that thing in life, so I can feel more freed from the so-called rat race, from the day-to-day, from the 9 to 5, right? These are tips for moi-même, for me too, myself as well. All right. Oh yes, caca, poo-poo, and now doo-doo. All right. We are really juvenile in the chat because I am juvenile. I have to have a little bit puerility. Otherwise, I would not be Anastasia. Andy, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Where is Carmen Sandiego? I think she's right here. Loop. All right. Okay. So no fuse saying, okay, huh? Okay. Hi to Joyce. Andy says that someone spiked my wine. Nah. Cheers, by the way. Happy hour. Um, Amazing. At least I don't speak like a brick wall because it's blah, blah, wham. All right, well, we are 25 minutes into our special Taco Tuesday. Have you done your taco tongue yet? Because we're 5 years old here. Why not? Life's too short not to be young again. That is, if anything, right? I studied to become a professor of literature, English and American literature, and at one point, and if anything, what I am now is a professor of high play, a professor of play, how to let yourself play, make mistakes, be silly, actually have no intention. It's okay to set intentions. Like when we do yoga, we have intentions that we set. When we do, like a journaling prompt or sometimes meditate. But it's also fun just to let things go in whatever direction. Let things just kind of grip your attention, kind of like just see what makes you curious. See what kind of where it takes you, and have no agenda and no parameters really, except the basic structure of we're playing and I give my some amount of time to do it, and try and limit what you should and should not do. I mean, I hosted a workshop in which he would do that. So by the way, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the little bell thingy so you're notified of when I go live. Whee! And don't forget to follow Oracle Whimsy and also Chuck Dransfield, who are just Chuck is here representing Whimsy. Amazing people have great YouTube channels and do extraordinary work and are of service in the world. Brava. Thank you very much. And I know Joyce is here. Mystic Soul Insights. Amazing tarot reader, astrologer who needs to do my chart for my solar return live so we can all know why Andy thinks my wine was spiked. By the way, Andy, thank you for making sure Jim and Sydney were notified that I was here on another day, Taco Tuesday, which means it's now time to take a break, like Pee Wee Herman. Did someone's Taco Tuesday? Yes. Tuesday. This is when we do fish lips, too. Because if we're not having fun, remember, around every corner in life is a big dung heap waiting for you with flies. So if you want to get through that and smile and not want to rip your hair out and eyeballs in the process and just cry and cry me a liver or a river and play a tiny violin, it's important to take time out of the day to play. So did you know at Harvard Business School, so hold on. There we go. Sorry, I dropped something. At Harvard, actually, this is cool, right? It's the back of someone's business card. It's a flower, speaking of flowers, but it's made of wood. And it looks like recycled, upcycled, maybe even petrified wood. It's extraordinary. It is beautiful. But did you know that Harvard Business School is radically changing their curriculum to incorporate, I mean, obviously they're going to teach you, like how to, market for the 21st century, and like social media and AI and VR and profit loss reports and whatever, how to hire, fire, and inspire. Trademarked by Anastasia Pavlov, actually, right there. I kind of like that. I love rhyming. How to hire, fire, and inspire. But on top of that, that's important. But what they're really focusing on more now is creativity and play, high play, and how to create that, to create creativity, how to allow for that, how to facilitate a space in which people, while they're in school and then while they're in the workforce, can understand how to play, be silly, goofy. Why? Because what happens when you do that, it's kind of like when you're doing the dishes. You're focused kind of on the dishes, but not really. Your mind kind of wanders, and it allows for ideas to flow. Innovation is something that doesn't just come by learning the rules. It's often there because rules have been broken and mistakes have been made. Remember, we were talking about Turkin. We were turducken. We were turduckening about. um, now I'm forgetting my point. We were talking about. Oh my god, that is hilarious. I just lost. Oh my god, my awesome train of thought. We were talking about something. Shit. Oh my god, that was hilarious. How do you cry a liver? We definitely don't know how to cry. Yeah, let's not cry a liver. Let's let my liver. I love you, liver. Um, let's see here. Let me rewind for a second. We was turducken. Um, we were talking. What were we talking about? We were talking about. I was talking about creativity in Harvard Business School. I know about that because Dr. Stephen Eisenstadt, with whom I worked at Pacifica doing dream tending and deep imagination work, he was asked to consult and work for Harvard as they kind of revamp their curriculum because that's something that comes about by way of there are many ways to access many portals you could say or access points into creativity and yeah, in a space, entering into a space, I found my train of thought, in which we allow ourselves to play, be silly, and just kind of allow things to flow through however they need to flow through. And my left ear is ringing. Hello, hello, nurse. Someone's communicating with me from the great beyond. No, we were talking about the mistake that became Coca-Cola. Yes, it once had cocaine in it, but originally it was just some medical syrupy formula. It was like a traditional herbal formula for God knows the common cold or something, and turned out it was kind of a tasty beverage, and then became this global huge behemoth of a oh look at my hair of a company that I mentioned my great grand Jeez Louise, my language today, my tongue is taco tongue tied. My great grandfather ended up working for Coca-Cola, and it got him and our family through the Depression. He was an immigrant from our tiny little group of people exiled into the south of basically the Middle East, southern Russia, Caucasus Mountains area. But when he came over here, you know, he was limited in what he could do for skill. And then the Depression hit. But because he had a job at Coca-Cola and everyone could afford 5 cents or whatever for a bottle, not a can, glass bottle of Coke with cocaine. No, I don't think it was. If anyone wants to find out when the last bottle of Coke had cocaine in it, that would be fun. But anyway, it's what got it. It actually saved our family from ruin. Yeah, and that was from just making a mess in a lab. So, what are ways by which we can play, be silly, and make a mess every day, and just let things just roll? Because I'm trained right academically as a writer, and what have I published and written? Very little, because it's so I have too much at stake with it. I know what it should look like. And that's the thing with plays, like even though you're say going through business school or some type of graduate program and you need to know what things should look like, you're not going to innovate in your field unless you throw that all out the fucking window and you sit down or stand up or run around or go into nature and strip half naked and like play with the leaves. You know, it could be very hard to discover much of anything. You're just going to be doing what you're told. So this kind of goes back to what No Few asked, you know, how do I know what I'm doing? How do I create something that is a successful business? Because how many possibly millions of people want to leave their jobs and just do something remotely. God knows there are a bunch of pariahs online that are, you know, and YouTube ads are like, oh, all you got to do is do this thing on Amazon. You don't even have to sell a product, and you can, or you can write a romance novel using AI and or all this bullshit. I mean, sure, try it. I don't know, but it can be very hard. It could be very hard. You might be barely making enough just to I sleep on a couch and not pay rent. and maybe eat for a couple years, you know? And that's knowing exactly what you want to do. I mean, it's who knows though the trajectory of your life. The whole thing is like people write books about this, people talk about this, people create YouTube videos about this, but who actually knows what is right for you? You have to follow your own basically moral compass, your own values, what you think is important, and you have to follow really what is your own highest excitement. I told the story of how I was trying to, for over the pandemic, for like 2-3 years, trying to create my own company, and it kind of created like 3 different companies, honestly, doing one-on-one coaching, workshops, making art, merchandise. I don't even know. So many different things. Oh yeah, my photography, doing retreats. Nothing was taking off. I was struggling so intensely. It was brutal, and I didn't know what to do. And I would often be negative money, no money anywhere. I didn't know what the heck to do. It was years, nothing happening until a day. And everyone who's been on here has already heard this story, but basically in a nutshell, I had like $7 left to my name. But what called to me in that moment is like, this is all I've got. So many times I had nothing, and then money would just show up from out of nowhere. Some random thing would happen. Literally, sometimes on the street, I'd look down, there'd be money. So I knew that even though money would go out, it's like the ocean would come back. But you know what people say you should do is like, oh no, save that, or give it to someone who really needs it, a homeless person or what, and then watch how it'll come back to you. Well, in that moment, what called to me was going to a place that made me really happy and spending that money on a matcha latte. But here's where the story got interesting. I got really excited and lit up. I'm going to do something fun. I'm not going to torment myself because I'm making no money and I'm just struggling and stuff, trying to create these businesses online and like not have to work a normal 9 to 5 or just any job, just work for myself, like work hard, but for myself. Well, as you guys know, I drove excitedly, parked, to where this coffee shop was. I love going to little fairy lights, trees, outdoors, having the time of my life. And then I park and I'm walking and I hear people like, Anastasia, Anastasia. They're calling my name, and it turns out to be 2 friends. And not only did I not have to spend my last $7 to my name, they had extra food they could give me because, believe it or not, there's more than enough for everyone, including me, including you. I had plenty of money, meaning I saved my money. I had plenty of food, plenty of drinks that they gave me, and they both suggested a different job that I could work. And they were exciting jobs that I hadn't really thought about working, and one of them I ended up taking. And for the last 2.5 years, that was my job. And I met so many people. I networked so much. I have new kind of perspectives, new talents, a new skill set. I have a whole new perspective on life because of that. But that is my story, and that's not what you should do or anyone else should do. You have to listen to your own inner guidance, which can be really hard. Like, how do you know what is your inner guidance? Well, that's where meditating and just listening to silence. And meditating sounds so scary, like you have to sit in lotus position with like some mudra or whatever, be some like Hindu, priest or some like, Buddhist monk or something, like in a cave. No, it's literally just sit down, even with your eyes open, just listen to the silence around you. Just listen. That's it. Just be quiet. Turn the phones off. Listen. And do that like at 10 minutes, 5 minutes a day, 1 minute, if that's all you can do. I got up to like 4 hours a day. That was maybe a bit much. It was taking over my life. became an addiction. But but it's going to be not what you expect, because normally what ends up happening is it starts to bring up pain and trauma and the past and the stuff that's in the way that's keeping you stuck from being able to make action and take action and do things. But sometimes, like Mark Manson said in The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck, you just have to do something, anything. You're like, I got an amount of dishes. Just drag your butt over there. Jump up and down, get the energy high, and start cleaning one fork. And then don't be mean to yourself if you can't keep cleaning anything else, because sometimes that happens. You're like, I can't. And that's okay. You try. But sometimes what you find is that action is the precedent to motivation, not motivation the precedent to action. And that once you take action, then you have motivation, and then the inspiration happens. But you have to let yourself be silly and play and goofy and let your hair down and make mistakes and fail. And in a sense, there really is no such thing, even you could say, as failure, as bad, as good, even as success. You're just, it's because it's all about your own, thank you for the hearts. It's all about your own, there's input. Oh, I'm sorry, Wonderboy 15. It's all about, I just forgot my whole point. If anyone else has feedback, let me know. It's all about your own inner metrics, values, and what you find right in the world. You said Wonderboy 15, you know, noise, input, hard to find quiet. I feel profound quiet right now around me. And I know other people are hearing. Oh, okay, copy that. It's not my audio. Okay. I think it's around you maybe, or in you. I was a wunderkind as a child, a mensch as a little thing, like a prodigy, okay? And I was pushed really hard. I didn't sleep much. I pulled all-nighters from elementary school. I was on caffeine pills in elementary school, junior high. I had stress disorders when I was very young. I achieved great things. And I saw what that could bring. It brought a really significant breakdown that was absolutely terrifying. I don't want anyone to experience what I went through. And partly why I create content is from, I've worked with so many different types of therapists, but one woman heard my story. She's like, you need to talk about your story more because there are people who don't see any way out of what they have dug themselves into. And if you can get through this, holy shit, you could give hope to other people. So what I've learned, a metric for me is, whoa, whoo, feel a lot, this is very personal, feel a lot of emotion saying this. If what I'm doing brings me joy and peace and ease and can allow me quiet and something where I go to work and I light up and I light other people up because I don't want to be in a position, whether I'm behind a desk or facing the public day in and out, where folks see me and I shrink them. I want them to see me and light up. I want them to help expand me. I want to enter into that space expansive so that I can help other people to feel the same way. And that comes from grinding myself into the ground and working insanely hard, because I was not just doing things that were academically oriented, but physically sports oriented, and working from a very young age. From started more intense when I was 9, and then more professionally when I was 12. 4 to 6 hours at least every day, every weekend. My life was completely my sports school, mixing little, singing and acting in there too. And God, because a lot of what I did was oriented in a religious setting. But all of that to say, for me, someone else might see my life as a failure. I had a friend, this is so hard to say. I had a friend tell me, like, what is wrong with you? You're a genius. Why are you doing this to yourself? Why did you just work the last few jobs that you lost? And it's like, because for the first time I chose something that I loved. That brought me so much joy. And that the little kid in me was like, thank God, because I didn't have much of a childhood. And my parents said, well, I chose that. And I did, and they also pushed me too. It went both ways. I can't blame my parents. I can maybe say partly it was their fault. It was my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it was. It's still incumbent on me to take responsibility for what happened and to choose differently. And maybe what I choose now is from a trauma response, because I want to do things that bring me ease, but why not? This world, like you said, is fucking chaos. It's pure, sometimes evil. There are predators, there are people killing people, there's war, there are bullies, there are assholes, there are psychos. We sometimes date them. Shout out to my ex. And I allowed that. I have to take responsibility for that. But with such a glut of horror in the world, why not choose something that brings us joy and ease and peace and makes our inner child feel safe and excited to live their fucking life? Because I really do believe, even though at times I fought the belief that I'd be okay if I chose jobs and situations that brought me joy and peace and ease, I believe that it's leading us in the direction to choose things that will help us to thrive and have a life like right now, where I can rest and recover from a gnarly job that left me and a gnarly relationship that left me in shambles, shattered. But I have this space and time to do things I really love and recover from that, and sometimes endure so much pain, and face the pain and have the space to face the pain with love and hold myself and give myself what I need. This is such a gift, and I'm still here. I'm still in my home. I have food. I have shelter. I have friends. Shout out to Chuck and Joyce and all of you here. All of y'all are beautiful. What a gift to be here and to use my metrics of I am living a life where right now I get to choose how I orient my time and my space and my day-to-day activities, and know that I will be okay no matter what. I do have to say, the friend who judged me, because I once worked for a movie theater, and I wanted to get a job there as a manager, because it was beneath me with all of my so-called education skills, talents. Like, I should be an ambassador to another country with all that I know and all the languages I speak and whatever. But they didn't have a position as a manager open. They said, just become a crew member. And I'm like, basically what a high school student could do while in high school, or with mom's permission to work. And honestly, it was a very luxurious theater. It was Arklight in Hollywood. And the Cinerama Dome, a historic landmark. I also happened to study cinema and film and act, and little did I know it was where everyone in the industry went. It was where all the A-listers went. It's where they wanted to showcase their movies. It was Quentin Tarantino's movie theaters, Christopher Nolan's movie theaters, in the heart of everything. All the red carpets, everything happened there. But I had to come at that from, this is a place I love to be. It's a happy place. I don't know about working here. I don't know how I'm going to afford my life. But my father had just died, and I finally didn't have anyone telling me what to do and what I should or shouldn't be. And I loved going to Arklight. It lit me up. It was probably one of the most exciting places to be in the city if you loved cinema and movies. Just like Tarantino. You know how obsessed he is with cinema. Oh my God. That place, when you would walk into the lobby, because of the architecture of it, and just the people who've come through there, and the amount of people that could be in there in any moment, and the energy and the types of movies shown, it just was, hi, I have great cheekbones. It was unbelievable. It's your hairs would stand on end, your guts would lurch out a little. You would just be so alive. And so excited, like kid in a candy shop, like nowhere, like Willy Wonka, where I started this, see, circumlocucious, boomerang, where we started this, in a world of pure imagination. That was pitchy, Sean. But I was so excited, and I knew that I'd be okay. There were days I couldn't eat very much, and we had, because I didn't have the money to eat much, but we had free popcorn and real butter, and that's what I got. But I loved what I did. It lit me up, and people saw that. And guess what? I got vetted, and I got to do the premieres, the red carpets. I wanted to work in the restaurant, and immediately the general manager was like, I'm going to make you the AGM, the assistant general manager, because you're extraordinary at what you do, and we could use that here. But I learned, here's the fun thing, was I actually learned that I was in a space in my life where I wanted quiet. I wanted peace. I didn't want to manage. I have managed different places before. That's how I met Chuck. I was his manager at Earth Bar. Hi, Chuck. And I didn't want to. That sounds like what you should take the promotion. It was like, no, I need to honor my boundaries. I know what I actually want, and I have to follow that. This is when they say, go against the flow, right? Or those movies about the person who went against the odds. It sounds great. And when you watch the movie, it's like, oh, yeah, everyone knows what's going to happen. But when it's actually happening in real life, it's very different. It's heartbreaking. It's like my ancestors who sacrificed their lives to get here, who were exiled by their own people, who weren't even, they were considered garbage and put into tiny little villages in the middle of nowhere because they were considered so repellent and disgusting that what they did was even punishable by death. And because we were pacifists and wouldn't join the army in Russia, we had to hide out. So this was my background, right? And then we come over here and we close our communities. And I'm there in the midst of all of that until I'm 12. But my mom was secretly trying to get me out and was pushing me really hard. And I was pushing myself even harder because I knew where I'd come from. I saw what it was like to be in this community. I saw what it was like to have no opportunities and to basically live a life very traditional. And the thing is, I'm sure there's so many people who thrive and love, like tradwives. You guys watch tradwives on YouTube or TikTok, for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? These people who literally are like, I went out and raped a deer and killed it for our dinner. Like, I sewed all our clothes. These women who have 7 children, and like, that's what they want. But, my mother she's still alive, but when she was younger, she was never allowed anything that she wanted to do. She was brilliant, wanted to study history, wanted to be a teacher, maybe even a professor, ran like the wind, wanted to run track, wanted to do all these different things, loved music, really. My eyes look pretty. They're pretty when I cry. Thanks, by the way, for holding space for me, y'all. But yeah, she was not allowed any of that. She was only supposed to find someone from our community that had been so reviled for literally 1,000 years at least, so reviled, and continue our people. And I probably have boogers everywhere. I love that. Boogers for lunch. Saving my boogers for dinner and lunch tomorrow. Anyway, long story short, you see what your family sacrificed and suffered through to give you opportunities. And then you have the audacity to say, I'm going to take a minimum wage job doing something a child could do when I have insane amounts of education I fought for. I got through on a full scholarship through my own blood, sweat, tears, and labor as a child. And what they put in, for me financially, what they sacrificed to get me through all of that. I mean, and then, and you're like, yeah, but I'm tired. And people are like, oh, sad, play me a tiny violin. But if I don't take care of myself, if I don't get the rest I need, if I don't do what I want, if I don't shine, then I'm a miserable cunt. I'm a miserable fucking cunt. And whose fault is that? Mine. But why did I not do something about it? Because I wanted to honor my family and their sacrifice. So you see, to go against the odds, I could only do that when my dad was fucking dead. The only way I could even, this kind of goes back to where we started with No Fuse comment. Like, well, how do I get some job or some advice to like work online or whatever, work from home? The only way I could do that was to have anything out of the way to tell me what I should or shouldn't do and to explore what it is that I actually want to do. And to know fully and truly, like Mark Manson says in his book, what are my values? What are my metrics? How do I like feel fulfilled? Because even though you might feel fulfilled on paper, that might not look like success, quote unquote, to the rest of the world or even to yourself. And though it's good to have goals, when you hit a goal, then what? It's not about the goals. It does help because you have to have some directionality, right? Some direction, a direction in which to go. But it's about the process, because it's going to take, like, you want to start your own company? God damn. I mean, it might be like, sorry for the language, but it might take fucking 5+ years. Who even knows how long it could take? It could take a long freaking time. So you better like what the hell you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to be suffering needlessly. Because you're, at the end of the day, like Tenet Maxim #1, not Maxim magazine where I show you my ass. I used to know a Maxim model. She came into Earth Bar. Chuck, do you remember her? Her first name was Sarah. Anyway, #1 Maxim in Tenet is, there is a pile of shit waiting for you with flies coming around every corner of life. So what is worth it to endure? Because there's going to be shit and suffering no matter where you turn. But there, as the Buddhists say, and as I've mentioned many times before, there's suffering. That is a dynamic and a law of physics of this world that we cannot avoid. However, there's a way to lessen that. There's a way to end that. But it all comes from your own perspective, your own Guillermo del Toro perspective. Okay? So whether you have to wear a mask and go out in the world, how are you? I'm fine. But, or not. It's up to you. And it is not an easy journey. If you want to go against what everyone else does, most of us just get a job. It's really hard, and it can be really embarrassing, and you will constantly fail. But again, it's not a failure unless you deem it so. And guess what happens when you fail? When you're often failing, you're making mistakes. And what mistakes do is they teach us things. Those are our best learnings, our best lessons. My skin looks nice. I'm not a day over 25. Sometimes affirmations work. But here's the thing. No matter what we're going through in life, what we want or what we don't want, no matter what space we're in, it's up to us to decide if what we're doing is successful or is taking us in a direction or just is where we want to be in the moment. Because there is no there. There's only here, now. All we have is this. There's no guarantee of what is to come. The past is gone. The future isn't here. What we have is now. So what are you doing in this moment? If you have no idea what the hell you want to do besides listening to silence. We just listen to silence for a few seconds. Just listen to silence. And why not just give ourselves a fucking break? You know? Why do we always have to be doing something? Why do we always have to be achieving something? Why do we always have to be so good, such a success? Why do we have to get the guy, the girl, the person, the job in the first place? Why can't we be happy with what we have? If you don't have food and shelter and you're being significantly abused, that's one thing. But if you have food, shelter, and you more or less are in a space of peace, why not stop doing for a second and just start being? The answer is really simple. Just shut the fuck up and be here now. And ask you, if no one else, whether a religion, whether a dad who suffered and died for you, no matter what happened? A partner, a child. If nothing mattered except you in this moment. And it sounds so selfish. But like I said earlier, if you aren't taking care of yourself, who is? Because if you are not taking care of yourself, like I wasn't the last 6 months, and you start getting more and more upset and even angry and volatile, and you explode and verbal diarrhea comes out, and you start to throw that and project that onto other people, that's your fault. And that's okay. Even if other people led to that, you have to take responsibility for that. Don't be so fucking hard on yourself. But remember, it's not selfish to put the goddamn oxygen mask over your mouth first before you put it on other people's mouths. You have to take care of you. And that's something that has broken my heart in my own family, because I feel like my parents couldn't take care of what they really wanted to do and who they really were, whether it was their relationship or with themselves or with each other. And they put that on their children to do for them. But then that engenders and creates, resentment. And how dare you're happy if I'm not happy? I sacrifice for you. I want you to be happy. But then when it comes down to, oh no, they're living a good life and I'm not. Oh my God. It's really hard. And then I feel bad. They feel bad. Everyone feels bad. And it goes back to, it's not easy though. This is so difficult. Good Lord, raising children. There's a reason I don't have children. I've nannied children. I've tutored children. I've babysat kids. I've done arts therapy informed, expressive arts therapy with kids. It's all consuming. They take away all of your time, your life, your sanity, your sleep, your everything. You can't do things like what I'm doing right now. Or barely. So it's not easy, but it just, all of this to say, what do you want? And what do you want if no one's opinion mattered? And what do you want if you just did nothing and just stayed in this moment and allowed there to be silence? You can turn off notifications. You can shut your phone off. You can quit your job. Or like me, wait till they just fire you because you won't let go and they have to let you go. So you have to learn the lesson. All right, well, okay, so that ended up in a direction I did not anticipate at all. Wow. I see someone named Nick Gamer joined us. Well, I hope you joined us when I had snot coming down my face. I was crying. This is hilarious. I have to go back through the chat because I started talking about turducken. That's when suddenly I wanted to turkey, duck, chicken. Oh, wow. Oh my God. This is hilarious. Yeah. I love that folks were chatting in the chat. We're talking about CocaCola. My great grandfather, having worked for CocaCola, helped your dad survive pneumonia. Amazing. Oh, Wonder Boy's from England. Hi. Hi. Who's your team? Do you have a team? I was dating someone who's an Arsenal fan. Uh-oh. We're talking football. I'm sure Wonder Boy 15 is like deuces. Anastasia's on a rant. I've been through a lot and it's been extraordinary to be able to help folks as well who've been through a lot or even just to listen. Because above all, listen and laugh. Be in silence, listen, laugh. You don't even have to say, do much. Like when someone's in pain, the most profound thing, we talked about this the other day, the most profound thing you do is just listen. Just listen. Say nothing. Just listen. Wonder Boy was talking about, how it's hard to find quiet. Be the quiet you wish to see in the world. Just be quiet. Get quiet. You can do it. Turn off your fucking phone. Not now. Don't turn off your phone. We're talking right now. Thank you for clarifying. My ex was from North London by way of Uganda and he had this Afrikaans Swahili kind of undergirding to his North London accent. I could never understand what he was saying. So maybe because you're from England, your accent came through in the chat and I didn't understand what you were saying, Wonderboy15. Thank you. Thanks, by the way, for subscribing. I got a little notification. Speaking of notifications, I have most of them turned off. My train of thought ran into a brick wall. LOLND. This is a good show tonight. Thank you, Chuck. Yeah, I really went there, didn't I? Chuck also was on caffeine in college. And how about when you how about when you were 11? That was fun. Wonder Boy saying it's hot here at the moment. I wonder where you are. England's a big country. Oh, thank you for saying I'm full of wisdom. I have studied a lot of different wisdom traditions and I've been through some fucking hell and faced a lot of darkness and seen some death in my time. So I guess it makes you learn a thing or two. Oh, Wonder Boy, thank you. He said, bless me. Thank you. I will take that. I need all the blessings I can get. Thank you very much. I do need a big hug right now. I'm going to give myself, because, sometimes we can't, sometimes you got to love yourself. I'm going to give myself a hug. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I love myself. I love myself. And I love to love. I love to love you. I love you guys. I love to shine. Speaking of my last job was basically just, a restaurant job, but it was very high end and for very famous people. So, and it paid very well. But, it was very fulfilling. And I got to light up everyone who stepped by my host stand. I was maitre d' or head host or fill in the blank. Fill in the blank. The brink. It took me the brink. Imagine that. Because things will take you to the brink where you're supposed to be. If something feels off, it's because it is. How about that? Joyce was a coach, swimming coach. She did synchro, artistic swim for 40 years. Takes a lot of grit, but she loved it. And I could only fathom how amazing she is. Sydney, love for me. Chuck's offered me like so many hearts. How beautiful. Andy told Chuck, can you give Sasha a hug? Oh, well, what about giving me a hug? I thought, look, I have this cat. For those of you who don't know, I co-host this show with Galaxy I Am Queen. She has her own Instagram, Galaxy I Am Queen, because she's Queen Galaxy of the dark side. She's a pirate queen, though, is actually what she is. See? Oh, Jesus. Mary Joseph. See? She's missing her back left leg. She has a peg leg because she's a pirate queen. She wears little bandanas. They're handkerchiefs that I wear too sometimes. So we can be twins. She had her back left leg half amputated when she was very young. So it don't bother her one bit. She's a fierce, formidable, and beautiful lady. And she lets me get up in that, those haunches. So it helps. She is my actual emotional support animal. I highly recommend them. They're actually very good for those of us who, like me, have been through a few things. But, come on, we all have pain and suffering. We all remember there's a big 200-pound pile of shit waiting for you around every corner in life. So you're not unique. You're not special. But what you've experienced is. And there is universality in the singularity of who you are. So remember that, and that it's useful to tell your story because it helps people remember, oh yeah, I've been through some shit. What am I doing with my life? Because you don't have to wait to get a cancer diagnosis or watch your dad take his last breath or your brother die before you or whatever the fuck to make a decision to change your life, Sometimes that's what it takes. Like, it took me, like, my job being like, adios, my guy, like 5 days apart. We do what we can. Nick Gamer again. Hi. I'm going through the chat, by the way. I already had my nice, my nice Sermon on the Mount. I had to step down from the podium there. Yeah, and Wonder Boy was saying how he could relate to what I said. He spent a lot of time suffering in the dark. A lot of us do. A lot of us don't realize that we're all fucking suffering in the dark, and some of us are just one step away from ending it all. Not to get grim, you know, but it's not unusual for people to have suicidal thoughts. It's not, you know, they think it's like, oh, that's something so exaggerated. That's human. The nature of this realm of existence is that it's hard. So why not play? Why not be silly? Why not do whatever the fuck this is and call it art and just not give a fuck? Why not? Why not? Why not make this, which some lady said looks like what she did in kindergarten, which did feel condescending, but also I'm like, okay, I'm channeling her inner child as I am my own. And that's the whole bloody point. Let's have some fun before this could all wrap up for me and, you know, tomorrow. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, you know? So welcome, Nick, to our intense, our lovely talk. Wonder Boy was liking myself. Was it, I know we were talking about, oh yeah, man, it's stressful. I have no idea. Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, basically we're all unlearning our childhoods. That's what's happening right now. We're not so much as learning and growing in wisdom, we're actually unlearning, and that's what's happening. I was singing Imagination from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, Gene Wilder, and then later Johnny Depp, and then, okay, Timothée Chalamet, c'est-à-dire, anyone? Est-ce qu'il y a des gens qui parlent français ici? Bonjour, bonjour. There shines a good deed in a weary world. Beautiful. Thank you, Wonder Boy. I appreciate your comments. I mean, I appreciate everyone's comments. Everyone's been very sweet and lovely, especially when it's not coming down my nose. I actually invited some friends today. They're probably like, what the hell has happened to Anastasia? Well, newsflash, I had a complete breakdown again. What else is new? And here I am on YouTube sharing my wisdom. Post breakdown. Cheeseboogers. Okay, that's a good pun. Andy, you are the king of puns. Sounds like my father caused me long-lasting trauma. It sounds like what my ex said as well. My father was an extraordinarily good man. But yeah, there was a lot of difficulty, but he did his best, and it's my responsibility to learn different ways of being. People here know my father grew up in abject poverty, the youngest of 7, 2-bedroom house for 7 kids and a mom and dad. My dad lived in the chicken coop in the backyard, converted chicken coop with his brother. There was extreme food scarcity. They all had grown up in the Depression except my dad. Came after World War II. My dad would clean bricks, a brick that would have like cement, some discarded brick, clean it off for 10 cents a brick. And get enough money to buy food that he wanted for himself. He worked his ass off from a child on. He tried to go to college on the GI Bill because he got drafted into Vietnam. By the grace of the gods, he got sent to Germany and not to Vietnam, and came back to the US intact with no real PTSD, and tried to go to school, but wanted to have fun and party and out, and met my mom and decided to become a dad and a husband and also take over his dad's company. And it did really well for a period until it didn't. And he lived with a lot of regrets. And he struggled with addiction and alcoholism, but he was sober most of my life too. But he was addicted to other things, not drugs and alcohol. So, because often once an addict, always an addict. My dad, yeah, this is really hard. This is so real and so personal to discuss so publicly. But my father was unlike any man I've ever met. I've never met somebody, except Chalk comes close. You really do come close, Chalk. We're definitely going over 60 minutes today, but I wanted to get through the comments because we kind of went in a more intense direction than we're used to. But it was beautiful. I think it was really healing. But I just want to, because, I'm not here to disparage my father and mother or blame them. I take responsibility for what I did and the decisions I made, even if I was a child. But unfortunately, we all do damage to each other, whether we're parents to our kids or kids to other kids. I know I don't want to speak for people in this chat, but I know certain people in this chat have endured extreme bullying at the hands of children, which almost made them take their own lives. We can be very cruel to one another. We can be the ones who inflict suffering on others. Another reason why we got to take care of our own shit so we don't put that on other people. We need to take responsibility for ourselves, even when we have maybe been set up in life in a way where it feels like we're set up to fail. And even it feels like our own parents are making us fail. But no, I mentioned something about my father that was extraordinary, but also possibly a little unhealthy, because I do it too. My father would sacrifice everything for us, and it did make us feel guilty in ways. But if I needed anything at any time of day ever, if I texted him, called him, if I ended up with a guy friend, which happened once, who was not in a good place, who suddenly got pissed drunk, just pissed out of his mind, and got us kicked out of an event because the guy worked for a really famous radio station, and there was this huge event, and he got so drunk and so messy, and because I was with him, I got involved in the whole thing, even though I wasn't pissed drunk. And it's like the middle of the night, and this guy can't drive his car, obviously. And I called my father in the middle of the, like 3 a.m. And my dad would get to work at 5:30 in the morning because he was a hard worker his whole life. Even when he had to end his company, and in his 50s, let's talk about DIY. This goes back circle. We started this with that. My dad had his own company. And he had it that his dad started in the 30s, and my dad had his own iteration of it. And in the 2000s, it went under. And then he tried to merge what he had from his company with another company, similar type of company, construction, roofing. But yeah, it could be 3 a.m. I'm like, Dad, please, I need you. Not like he would do absolutely anything for us, but with that level of sacrifice and care and love, like especially when I was an athlete and traveling, and my dad, like he would take me to every tournament, every game. He would pick me up. He was never late. He was there early. He would stay through the practices. He would stay and watch it. He spent so much of his life with me. He was literally kind of like best friend, really. He was like my partner. I was never not with my father and around my dad. I even lived with him in my 30s when I had a pretty significant breakdown. So he was always, always, always there. But it was almost too much because I cared for him too much, because he cared for us too much, because he wouldn't take care of himself. And he almost didn't give me permission to take care of himself in the ways I saw fit, because he had a way of seeing how that should look and not look. And I understand. Again, it's really hard to raise a kid, but it's even harder when there's religious dogma involved. That's another conversation for another time. So, okay. Well, I wanted to clear that up. Thanks for saying that, Wonderboy15. But yeah, as Wonderboy15 also said, if everything was perfect and there was no challenge and fight in life, there would be no point to it. It would get boring pretty fast. And that is it. Talk about wisdom. That is why there's a big heaping pile of shit around every corner in life. That's exactly why. That's exactly why. Oh, you said, I'm a wonderful lady and grateful to have found my channel and to have shared in my wisdom. Sydney's saying how she used to mourn a lost future, but had to learn to live in the now. I mean, honestly, if there's any book that you guys want to read or need to read, Eckhart Tolle, Tolle, be here now. Isn't it called The Now? Sorry, what the fuck is the name of the book? Eckhart Tolle, Be Here Now is the other That's the other guy who, that's Ram Dass, sorry. That's Ram Dass, who was the guy who was studying LSD, and then when he did LSD, it changed his brain, and then he became a guru and all that fun stuff. And Timothy and Leary, right? All those guys. Anyway, no, this is Eckhart Tolle. He had a profound awakening. The now, the power, there we go. Power of now, the power of the now. Read that book. That'll change everything for you. Just be here now. All right. Wonder Boy 15 is going to go for a 4 a.m. drive and find some quiet. I love that because, yeah, you guys are 8 hours. If you're actually in England right now, then, yeah, you're 8 hours ahead of us. I used to live in France. They were 9 hours ahead. Andy wishes he had a life. Andy, you're living your life right now with us. It was so nice to meet you, Wonder Boy. Hopefully you come back and listen to how I talked about you and read your comments. No Few said hi. I keep coming. Honestly, thanks, No Few. We had some fresh blood, some fresh meat, some new folks in the chat, and their questions helped me to kind of spin in a new direction. And I was obviously, No Few asked, and I was very honest. I was not feeling well, clearly, because I couldn't contain. Normally, I can goof and make jokes and perform, but sometimes I can't. I can't how I'm feeling. Like teaching kids caca poo poo. Yes. As Andy knows, that's now an inside joke. But yes, I just want to finish going through the chat and honoring everyone who came here, because it's this wouldn't be something without you guys. There is no live stream without you guys. I mean, there is. I could just record this for no one and then just put it as a video online. But to me, this is community and interactive. And that's why I want to make sure I go through the chat before I sign off. Sydney's talking about how self-love is imperative. Joyce, who's an amazing swim coach, her swimmers became coaches. I really did want to become a coach, but after playing, as I did, I played indoor women's volleyball as an outside hitter. I'm the last 5'8" outside hitter, probably in the history of Division I Big West Conference volleyball. I'm a contemporary of Misty May. But that's her last name? Trainer, Misty May Trainer. I knew her as Misty May before she got married. Anyway, thank you for honoring Galaxy. Sasha will get lots of hugs and hopefully give me a hug. And hopefully I'll see. I thought Andy was going to say, Chuck, you need to give Anastasia a hug, because I live down the street from hugs. I live down the street from Chuck and would love to get hugs from Chuck, because I feel like I need hugs, but I can give them to myself too. We can't wait to see Maya and Joyce on your show live. Unfortunately, yeah. Sydney's very familiar with the dark place. We're very, happy Galaxy made it. I know Gene Wilder cannot be compared to, Timothy Chalamet. Oh my God, sorry for the burp. Or that was Gene Wilder, who was like, fuck Timothy Chalamet. And Johnny Depp. Oh, he was angry. Has anyone watched that interview? Oh, he was pissed off that they remade Willy Wonka. Oh. Wow, Andy never got to know his real parents. That's another huge level of pain. Sydney takes on other people's pain. So do I. Oh, Andy's tearing up. I know, I definitely teared up. A lot, obviously. Sydney was also adopted and never knew her birth father. Wow. Okay. I heard a stepladder never knew his real ladder. That's very cute. That's a great joke and great pun. And Andy was 1 when adopted, his half-sister 2. We love you, Andy. Thank you for being here. And your half-sister was named Dawn. You were from North Dakota. Oh, Wonder Boy's still here just listening. Thank you. I'm glad you could hear me talk about your comments. I'm laughing, sorry. In all caps, Andy puts Misty May Trainer. Because I sometimes, even though I have no children, I have what's called middle-aged mom brain. I actually linked it's an SNL sketch, like your mom who can't figure out anyone's names. But like Trenter Sutherford, Nightler's Summer, Kiefer Sutherland, like it's how to translate what your mom's actually saying. It's funny. So I on yesterday's last week, I always do that. Yesterday's live stream, it was like brought to you by Mom Translator, and I linked that SNL sketch. It's fucking hilarious. All right. So I'm glad you're here, Wonderboy 15. I do have to wrap this up. I don't, if you want to share what your actual name is or stage name, but I'm happy to call you Wonder Boy 15. That works. Are you, I hope you're older than 15 years old. This is definitely not safe for work sometimes and not 18 plus. Oh, how sad. Andy said his dad promised him he was going to help him find his real family, but he passed away before it could happen. North Dakota, Fargo, eh? Fargo. We're really sorry, Andy. That is beautiful, though. Thank you for sharing. It's very sacred and that you feel safe to share that with us. Mwah. We love you. Fish lips for you. That's why you love the Three Stooges and laughing so much. It's important to laugh when there's this much pain in our bodies. We all have been. Remember, we were talking about moving the pain around? All right. You also, oh, good Lord. Oh, I'm sorry, Andy. Your real father abused your half sister. I don't want to say what she did, or what he did, rather, because that might be really hard for people to hear. But that is, we are here to read that in the chat. I'm so sorry. Wow. I'm just reading this comment. Thank you for sharing that, Andy. That's really upsetting and really tragic. I'm so glad that you're here to be with us and laugh with us and cry with us and have cheeseboogers and share Three Stooges jokes and puns. Oh, you were starved and you said you don't look like you're starving now. Well, that means you're a winner. Have you watched the Tom Papa special I suggested? What is it? You're okay. You're going to be fine. I can't remember the name of it now. True passion. But that Tom Papa special is so good. Because we're winning. I think even Mark Norman and Sam Morril, a lot of folks talk about that. You're winning. You're a winner. All right. Oh, you're 35 and your name is Reese. Nice to meet you, Reese. I'm okay. You're okay. I am. That's not the name of the special, but he does mention that a lot. You're okay. You're okay. All right, my beautiful people. What a journey this was. Our attendance has gone up and down, up and down, up and down. Andy is sharing that he's 49. I'm not a day over 25. I'm not. Yeah. Well, when my roots are done, I maybe don't look whatever age I look. What do I look? Am I 30? I was told I am 35, but I am not 35. I'm not 25. I'm some other age. But I was dating someone who was 34, for what it's worth. Anyway, a lady need not tell her age, that is for sure. She also need not scooch into the banquette when she's in a restaurant. Scooch, scooch. All right, well, let's leave you with some fun kindergarten art, some playful art. My poor friend who told me that. She's probably like, how dare you? I wasn't disparaging your weirdo art. Yeah, I do process art. It's how all these emotions I have, they get out over here onto these surfaces. All right, friends, we want the distance. We want an hour and 22 minutes and counting. And clearly I can't add an hour and 28 minutes. Originally I was going to be a professor of math. I was actually a math whiz. But it ended at calculus and I was like, nah, this isn't for me anymore. I'm like, I don't want to go beyond this. All right. It's going to be called I'm okay. You're okay. I'm from Bologna. All right, loves. Okay, my phone is actually now dying and I'm using my phone for this live stream. Someday it'll be an iPad or computer and microphones besides this, and we'll figure it all out. But I love that right now we're at 8 people, or who knows how many people are here, and 8 likes. I like you guys. I love you guys. Life is too short not to tell people you love them, even if they're strangers and you just met Reese, who's 35 from England for the first time, and all of the other folks who were here today. Like the person, like No Few, had a beautiful name, and who was asking great questions that helped kind of spin us in this different direction. I'm very grateful. There was definitely a lot of pain in me, and you guys really helped me to just process that. That was really beautiful. So as we sign off, know that normally we meet Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, or whatever time zone you're in. I'm sorry to do that math. God knows I can't remember people's names. do basic math, so figure it out. Normally at 7 p.m. Pacific, or hit the notification bell so you know I'm going to go live, or follow, subscribe, that would help too. Or subscribe and like, rather, that helps. Write comments on my videos, that helps a lot too, to get me in the algorithm and people to give a damn and show up to these things, because these are fun, right? Community, love, you never know. Life is like a box of live streams, you never know what you're going to get. You're going to get really bad accents, that's what you're going to get. All right. As we sign off, we're now at a proper hour and a half. Thank you. I love you so much. Again, it's important to love everyone as much as you can. And remember, take care of your own shit. Shine so that you help other people to shine. Because you are the only person responsible for you. Unless you're an underage child, but you shouldn't be on here right now. That's when you have someone else responsible for you. Okay, anyway. Or you're indigent. There are a lot of other reasons. Anyway, we're going to not go in any more directions except to say, I love you, Chuck. Thank you for being here. I love you, Andy. Thank you for being here. I love you, Kate McCarthy. Thank you for being here. I love you, Fatish. Thank you for being here. Boba and Mingo. I love you. Thank you for being here and for loving my beautiful flowers. Peter Pan Syndrome. Come with me and you'll see. Nofew, Solu, thank you. I love you. Thank you for being here. Andy, Sydney. Andy Radu, Sydney Willis, I love you. Thank you for being here. A world of pure imagination. Thank you to Joyce Petrus for being here. Again, Andy and Sydney for contributing so much to the chat. Holy moly, you guys are amazing. Especially Chuck and Joyce for joining in. And thank you, Nofew, for asking your extraordinary questions and listening to how I communicate in a way that some people can't handle. That's okay. But thank you for sticking with us and enjoying. Maybe even from, I don't know if you were coming at us live from Nigeria. That's amazing. And of course, Wonderboy15, who said hello from England. That was just amazing. And thank you to all the folks who made Reese. Sorry, the person you used to date had a nickname that rhymes with your name. That's right. I can't say that because I don't want to, yeah. Anyway, but amazing. Reese from England. Thank you for joining us. I love you. Thank you for being here and for asking questions, being present. Thank you. Again, to everyone who came today and showed up, there are a lot of people who showed up who didn't make themselves known. Nick Gamer did make himself known at one point. I know I invited a variety of people who possibly were here and said nothing in the chat. But I love you guys. Thank you for Andy, to Andy for being the king. Sorry, you're not a queen, you're a king. Or you can be whatever you want. I'm a king. Thank you for being the king of puns. Thank you to everyone. I was going, what I did, Andy, is I went all the way back to the top of the chat and I was going name by name in order of people who arrived. So I was definitely not going to forget Nofew because Nofew asked. I don't know if Nofew is identifies as a man, woman, what have you, but Nofew asked some questions that helped me go on a train of thought that was really fascinating. So, choo-choo! How was that train? Let me know in the comments. I cried a lot, did you? I had a lot of boogers, did you? I saved some for tomorrow. Cheeseboogers, anyone? We will see each other again on Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific time, 10 p.m. Eastern. I love you. And then we will hopefully recommence Monday, Wednesday, Friday, back 7 p.m. Pacific, because we love our hump day. Our hump day on Wednesday is fun. We get our hump on. I wear something real sexy. It's fun. It's like we're dating. It's like a dating game. I don't know what it is. It's just me showing up being weird. I am weird. I am eccentric. That was like my, there you go. It's okay. Be yourself. Play. Be silly. Life's so goddamn short. We don't know what's going to happen. Just be here now. Listen to silence. Shut off the goddamn phone for once. Not when you're here with me. Turn off your notifications. Make silly art. Throw googlies on. Googly eyes on. Put a googly eye on your head. Put it on a hat. I don't know. And above all, just be here now. And maybe listen to silence and see what happens. Because that's all meditation is. And it'll help reveal what's really there. Including pain. But also including pleasure and what you really want to do that makes you shine the most. Because remember, you're the only one who can help this happen. You're the only one who can make yourself shine. Although other people help you too. And sometimes, because that's actually how I think my dad's life was saved. Because my mom made him shine. And they were married until he died for 40 whatever years, a long time. So sometimes it is someone else who helps you shine. But keep in mind, it starts with you first. Boink, 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 boink. Thank you for being here for me and helping me feel less alone, even when I'm in pain. But also, obviously, some joy and some silliness. I do like to perform, and I love this time with you guys. Thank you to everyone who showed up. To absolutely everyone, including some newbies. So fun. No Few, Reese, aka Wonderboy 15, who's not 15 but 35. Whew! Because YouTube's about to shut me down. To our poo-poo caca puns and everything else. What a fun time. Thanks again. I just said thank you to everyone. I don't need to spend another 30 minutes saying thank you. I love you. Have a beautiful and safe night or morning or wherever you're at in time and space. If you're somewhere intergalactic, Nanu. That's what Spock does. Anyway, I love you. Have a beautiful night. I need to sign off. This is insane. It's 96 minutes. Oh my God. That's 1 hour 36. Okay. I did really basic math there. I love you guys. I'll see you Saturday, 7 p.m. Pacific, okay? In the meantime, I might post some weirdo dating videos. You might want to not look at them. But maybe I might post some fun art videos too. We'll see what happens. I love you. Have a good night, day, evening, morning, tea and crumpets, whatever the hell you're doing. Tea and biscuits. I love you. We'll leave it with happy Taco Tuesday tongue and fish lips. See you soon. See you Saturday or on the interwebs, like on YouTube. Leave me some comments. It'll help. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the little bell, and leave some comments. I love you. Let me know what resonated with you. What are you going to take with you and let change your life? This is your chance to change your life. Tomorrow's the first day of the rest of your life. Right now is the first moment of the rest of your life. Let me know what worked. Leave the rest. Take what worked, leave the rest. Let me know in the comments. Okay, I'm going to shut the fuck up. Bye, you guys. Love you. See you soon. See you Saturday. Bye.